I am resident of Colorwood for YouTube. Jules Sains, this is my buddy Patrick McCray. We're here to talk Halloween, the franchise, the future of the franchise, and other sorts of horror franchises, if you will. So I got to ask you, man, my friend, where would you like to see the Halloween franchise go? What direction do you want it to take?
That's a great question because you have to split the difference between what fans want and what I would want as a creative and the other thing about a franchise is deciding what's missing. I mean, what has yet to be talked about. And I guess they did this with the Cult of Thorn thing, which I really haven't seen, but uh, some reasoning for why Michael and what he is and what's going on here. But then again, the problem with that, and this is why I kind of have doubts about a television franchise around Michael, is that Haddonfield is purposefully bland because it has to be an everyman town. I'm sure you feel differently, and you've forgotten more about Haddonfield than I'll ever know. But and that's cool. And I'm here to learn from you. So let me tell you what I think.
Yeah.
And the so Haddonfield's purposely, supposed to be kind of bland, I think. Um, I was never very. I think the more universally acceptable, and by that I mean identityless, uh, the Strode family is. Hi, Julie. The
Hey,
Strode family is, and all of that stuff, all of that stuff goes. The more the scarier I think it is for people
mhm.
because the more it's like, oh gosh, this could happen here. This could be me. This could be you. This could be any of us. The weirder it gets, the more specific we learn about dark secrets of the Strodes or things like that.
Yeah.
The problem is that then it's like, oh, it's about a specific family.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the fact that Michael doesn't speak means he has every voice. The fact that he only briefly shows his face, really, and it's forgettable, it's intentionally bland, at least John Carpenter's version, means it could be anyone under there. It could be you, it could be your parents, your brother, whatever,
Yeah.
or your sister, or anybody. Even the theme song is purposefully elegant
Mhm.
and devoid of a lot of trills and glissandos and all of that. It's like the Jaws theme. It's just that's like dun 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 dun, two notes. My God. So that's why I have doubts. So I think given that, who is the main character in this franchise as we know it? Who is colorful? Well, that's Sam Loomis, of course.
Yeah.
And so I would say, the many Halloweens of Sam Loomis, what are his other adventures? Who are his other patients? Why does he specialize in these things? Why does he know these things about Michael? I mean, you get the idea that maybe the world thinks he is a just a mild-mannered generic psychologist, but mm-mm, mm-mm. I know lots of tame run-of-the-mill psychologists. They're not Sam Loomis, and they don't have patience like Sam Loomis, and they don't have the resiliency and instincts and knowledge and nerves like Sam Loomis. So I would probably make it a Sam Loomis TV series, uh, and I would then have him starting to encounter with a good frequency some kind of, it could be a cult like Cult of Thorn or whatever, something that certainly leads to him recognizing Michael as sorry as part of what they have been dealing with or been representing or been fighting or whatever. And it would be a prequel. And the first season would lead up to him getting Michael as a child. The second season then takes place actually over a number of years, over about 10 years. And it's him recognizing, oh, this kid belongs to this whatever, he's the result of whatever they're doing, and him trying to hunt them down and being unable to, and knowing his only source of security, kind of like that Twilight Zone episode, the Halloween Man, his only source of security, he's kept Michael locked up. And as long as he does that, everything's okay. And of course, then, you know, he doesn't. And, the second season ends with the movie Halloween. And then I don't know what. I don't, but I will say, I don't think every TV show needs 5 or 6 seasons or
No.
10 or 12. I don't think every TV show needs to have 22 episodes. I think, the English have done it very well with 6.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna turn off the camera and the mic though, and you respond.
You made a lot of great points. First of all, Patrick, I do agree with you that I would love to see a Sam Loomis series because he is the most colorful character in the Halloween franchise. I would say when you get into Haddonfield, and I'll get back to Sam Loomis here in a moment, but when you get into Haddonfield specifically going off of John's Immortal Classic, when I was in junior high school, I'm going to give a former teacher of mine here a shout out. Mrs. Garrett uh, once made us a piece of paper to put our favorite things on, like what's your favorite movie, this, that, because she wanted to get to know her students. And I put John Carpenter's Halloween. And she actually sat and like rewatched it or watched it or something. And she said, "Why do you like that movie?" She goes, "It makes, the females in the movie look stupid." I said, "What else did you notice about the movie?" And she looked at me. She didn't answer me. She goes, "Well," then she goes, "Well, what do you mean? What did I notice?" I said, "Well, more specifically, what did you notice about Tommy Doyle and Laurie Strode, other than they're from Haddonfield and Laurie babysits Tommy? What did you notice about them?" And she looked at me and she goes, "I don't know. Like, what am I supposed to look for?" I said, "Okay." I said, "Tommy Doyle is a little boy who believes in the boogeyman." Tommy Doyle tells Laurie Strode, "Don't you can't go up there." That and Laurie Strode, he's talking about the Myers house. I said he goes up and puts the keys, or she goes up and puts the keys down there, and walks back. And he says, "Lonnie Lamb said awful stuff happened there once." He said that's a haunted house. And she goes, "Well, Lonnie Lamb probably won't get out of the sixth grade." I said, "Then later, when you see Laurie Strode again, way later in the movie," I said, "after Michael is stalking her, and she doesn't know it's Michael Myers, mind you, she says something. She says, 'Well, kiddo, I thought you outgrew superstition.'" I said, "You have two people from that very same town, plus other people in that town, that seem to believe in the boogeyman." I said, "I get a little kid. I get Tommy Doyle. I even get Lonnie Lamb if he believes in it." I said, "You know who I don't get? A 17-year-old young woman named Laurie Strode. Why does she believe in the boogeyman?" I said, "The question you need to ask yourself is what's wrong with the town of Haddonfield? Because there's something wrong there. It's not just Michael Myers. There's something else going on in that town, and they don't talk about it." I said, "I don't know what that something is. I have no clue." And I've watched Halloween like 50 times, like 500 times, it feels like. What I'd like to see, and I love your idea of a Sam Loomis prequel to get back to him, but I love Sam Loomis to me. If I were to say anything about Dr. Sam Loomis, where I would start it off as this, not necessarily the young psychiatrist, not a complete young man, but a young enough man who entered World War II as a doctor uh, for the British Army. And the reason he knows so much about evil, what really helped him understand evil. Well, and maybe this would be too much. Maybe this would be too much for an audience to, understand or see. I don't know. But he would be part of uh, the army group that discovered the Holocaust victims. He would be the doctor checking for the pulse and stuff like that. And he had trouble distinguishing alive from the dead. I remember in the fifth grade, again, another former teacher of mine, Mr. Elias, a history teacher, showed us the videotape and the doctor talking about that. There was a doctor on the whatever talking about the Holocaust victims, and it was just so chilling to hear. I mean, to hear his account of it was just chilling. And I always thought about that when I thought about Sam Loomis. That what if Sam Loomis was one of the fictionally one of those people? Obviously, I don't know if they'd ever do something like that. Now, to address the Halloween TV series, they're not going to do a Halloween TV series anymore. They're going to try for a movie. So I'm at two roads with Halloween. I do want the sister connection to continue, but I know it's not going to. So I'm not foolish enough to think they'll do it. So my suggestion is if they really want Michael, this random killer, this everyman, as you said, and I agree with you. I think Michael is very scary when you don't know who he's going after really. He's everywhere and nowhere at the same time, and that's something John Carpenter has described Michael Myers as the devil, as again the shade. Where I would start a Halloween TV series that features Michael, as I would go back to 1978, and you would see this beyond middle-aged man who's maybe in his early 60s, I'd say.
Yeah.
And he would be sitting there reading the newspaper, and you'd see this woman in a nightgown. She'd be older, and she'd say, "Howard, it's time for bed. I don't think we're getting any more trick-or-treaters." And he said, "You see the newspaper? The goddamn Bears aren't going to make the playoffs, the Chicago Bears."
Yeah.
And he folds up the newspaper, and he's going to his front door to turn off the porch light so the trick or treat, so nobody knocks on his door. And that's when he hears this faint sound like somebody's screaming. So he opens his door and here's these two kids. They're coming toward him, and they almost collide into him. He's like, "Hey, hey, hey." Then he realizes who they are. And he says, "Tommy Doyle, Lindsay Wallace, what are you doing up this late?" And they say, "Mr. McKenzie, you got to help us. You got to help. You got to call the police." And he says, "Why?" And before they can answer, you hear bang, 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 bang. You hear the 6 gunshots from down the street.
Uh-huh.
And once he hears that, he pulls the kids in, he closes the door, and he goes, "What? Why were there gunshots? What was that about?" And the kids tell him that they say the boogeyman's trying to kill Laurie Strode. And he says, "A man." So he just deduces a man is trying to kill Laurie Strode. He knows he says, "What? Who was she babysitting?" And Tommy says, "She was babysitting me, but Lindsay came over later." He picks up the phone, calls the police. He said, and he tells the Haddonfield Police Department, "Hey, you need to head to 610 Orange Grove Lane. Send police and paramedics to the Wallace house." That's their address, 610 Orange Grove Lane. And he hangs up the phone. He walks upstairs. You don't know why. He goes into his bedroom. He pulls out a black case. He opens the case. You see a Medal of Valor. This guy was a World War II veteran. He has a 1911 pistol. He gets the pistol, and she says, "Howard." And the reason I say Howard McKenzie is because John Carpenter's favorite director was Howard Hawks.
Sure.
So that's how I would start off a Halloween movie. Is I would start it in 1978, getting a different perspective from different people instead of just going Laurie Strode and Dr. Loomis all the time. And you would get different characters who were older teenagers who were out sort of playing Halloween pranks, not knowing Michael Myers is out there yet. They haven't informed the public quite yet that Michael was on the loose. And so it would play into that. That's something I think they should do if they're going to honestly reboot the damn thing. Because what I get so sick of hearing, even as a fan, is, "Oh, the sister connection was stupid." Well, but here's the thing, and I love the character of Laurie Strode. Don't get me wrong, but they keep handcuffing Michael to who? Laurie. Um,
Yeah.
then move away from her. That's my solution. If you're not going to have the sister connection, if you don't want Laurie Strode in the story, then move away from her, and that's what a reboot should do: is slowly move away from her.
So I want to look at. I think it's a great idea, and it makes me wonder about the John Carpenter ghost theory.
Mm-hmm.
Where his idea for Halloween 2 involved, or Halloween 3 involved Mike as a ghost. And
Yeah, that's well. In Halloween 4, he wanted like Michael Myers to rise out of a pumpkin patch or something, and I'm like, okay, like I don't quite understand. Sorry, go ahead.
have to do with that. Julie, did I lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, good, good. Sorry, I'm on a train and it's all weird.
That's okay.
So, how much did John Carpenter have to do with that movie?
With part 4 or
No, part two. One,
part
one equals
2?
two.
Okay,
Yes.
part 2. Um, he had at least he wrote all of it, to be fair, but
Okay.
he did shoot the opening sequence, help shoot the opening sequence of Alice's death, uh, and then I think he pretty much hightailed that out of there after that. And Rick Rosenthal took over. The first part of the movie, like the first maybe 5 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes, is John Carpenter, I'd say, and the rest is Rick Rosenthal.
Okay.
Now
So,
he again,
has
sorry,
has anyone? No, I have a very specific chain of questions I'm asking. Uh, has okay. This is going to sound crazy. Has anyone ever ignored Halloween 2 in terms of building canon or
yeah,
rebuilding canon? Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So who did that?
That would be the most recent Halloween trilogy of David Gordon Green.
Okay. Okay. Because that immediately curses my idea because it shares that, but you could do it after Halloween 2. At the end of Halloween 2, I know that they blow him up real good. Um, but is there any suggestion that he is still alive out there somewhere?
Halloween 4 was that suggestion.
Yeah. Too. Like, does he do anything weird or like come out of the barbecue
Well, in Halloween
or I haven't
2,
seen it in a long
in,
time.
in Halloween 2, the end of Halloween 2, um, well, even Halloween H2O acknowledges Michael lives. But I'll get into both here for those who have never known. Halloween 2, you see Laurie Strode, who gets out of the little mini surgery area before Dr. Loomis blows it up, and then Dr. Loomis blows up. He says, "It's time, Michael." The gas is like you can hear it like hissing, and it blows up. Lori is watching as it burns, and she sees this man, which is Michael Myers, coming out covered in flames. He passes out, hits the floor, and she's watching him burn. Now, Halloween 4, we know that he comes back. Halloween H2O only acknowledges the first two movies. Um, and she says to John Tate, I kind of covered this in a video I just did, that where John Tate says to her son, "Hey, you said you watched him burn." And she says, "Well, I didn't exactly see his ashes." And it's like, well, but you did watch him burn, but it's like you could kind of explain it away yourself, where you say, well, maybe the firefighters pulled Lori out before she could actually see his body burn up completely, and the firefighters had to put Michael out because it's their job. you don't know, you don't see that part in the movie, but it's something H2O definitely plays with. Again, I just think if from me, from my perspective, as much as I don't hate the sister connection, I like it. But if people honestly don't want it,
Oh, and,
you know what?
and for completely for about the past minute, so I have no idea what you're saying.
So, um, well, what I'll say is that there are a lot of Halloween fans who don't like the sister connection, who don't like one, two, like Halloween 2, Halloween 4, 5, 6, H2O Resurrection. They don't like Michael Moore being related. And so I do want a sequel to Resurrection. I know we'll probably never get one. I'm not unrealistic about that aspect. And I've even suggested how to do it. Pick it up from that night, the same night as Resurrection. Michael gets out of the coroner's office. He kills people, and nobody goes to check on the coroner's office because they think he's dead. They think it's over, and it's still Halloween night. And because the coroner's office is in the countryside, Michael stumbles upon a haunted. As I lost Patrick here just now, um, I'll continue talking. Hopefully, I get Patrick back here. That he stumbles upon a haunted uh, farm attraction where people are scaring teenagers. And so when they first see him, they think he's just a part of the act. So I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. Again, I just think if they are going to reboot this, then move it away from Laurie Strode. Get it as far away from her as you can. Again, I just don't know how much of a story there is with doing that. And I don't know how much of an actual story there would be without having it be this sister connection. Do I think you could create a story like that? Sure. But I think you need to focus on other events too. Um, Welcome back, Patrick. Such as I think they need to focus
I
on.
miss you.
Yeah. Um, they need to focus on what happened in Russellville 15 years ago too with Charlie Bolts. Like what did like we know he killed his family, but it's like
Yeah,
what the hell, what for? They don't really get into that all that much in the original Halloween. They just make mention of it. So I think that's something they could play with. I don't know how deeply they could. I think if they honestly reboot this, like I think they're going to, I think they're only going to get maybe one or two films out of this. That's it. I don't see a deep, like, franchise driven Halloween again.
yeah.
But that's
That
just my
was
opinion.
fun. Wow.
What's a franchise you'd like to see?
Well, I got more Halloween thoughts here, my friend.
Go ahead, go ahead.
So if that's all right, I got some ideas in and around this. Um, well, I don't know where this would go necessarily, but I want you to imagine it's after, the events of Halloween 2, and there is a farmhouse. It's a normal farmhouse. It's a widow and, her son or something like that living out there. And they discover this burn victim. And for some reason, they have a reason not to call the police. And so, but they take him in, and the burn victim can talk. He's a normal guy. He doesn't have much memory, but he's a normal guy. And as it turns out, it's Michael.
Ooh.
Michael has no memory of Halloween whatsoever. And so for the first few episodes, he's healing. He heals very rapidly, which he doesn't understand. He is not a genius, but he has the mentality of a very smart 10-year-old. You know, uh, he is, he shows interesting abilities. He can move very quietly. He can plan. He can kind of sense where animals are outside. He and the boy kind of befriend each other, and he shows the aptitude that Michael Myers has. The killer, the shape.
Yeah.
But he's not evil. he's normal, and he begins to understand over the course of the first few episodes that he was, or some part of him, killed his sister and went catatonic as the brain sort of repaired itself or whatever, and then went on this killing spree and so on and so forth. And he is terrified that he's going to do that again. And he runs into Sam Loomis, and he agrees. What happened? Did you say something?
No, I was listening to you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. And Loomis is he says, I'm looking at Michael, but I don't see the evil. He says, yeah, I know. He says, but I think we both know that you might. And so they're very scared. This is something ritualized and something could happen on Halloween. And so he and Sam build this unbelievable trap for Michael to put himself in, right?
Yeah.
So that he cannot, Chris Jennings style, so that he cannot get out on Halloween.
Yeah.
And Halloween comes and goes, or Halloween comes, the sun sets, and the moon is full, and all of that. And Michael experiences no transformation, and he thinks he's beaten it. And it's the trap is sort of pit-like, and he looks up from the pit, and he says, "Dr. Loomis, we did it! We did it! Are you going to congratulate me?" And Loomis is just staring down at him. And then Loomis puts on the mask.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that's your season one cliffhanger.
Oh wow. Oh holy shit. Now that would be
Yeah,
different. That would be different.
and
Definitely.
that goes a little bit with that ghost theory, but that there is some spirit, and that Michael is ultimately the vessel of it, but that he and
Yeah.
Loomis have some sort of connection that is not what it seems to be, and that
Yeah.
Loomis is motivated in ways that not what it seems to be, and yeah, yeah, and maybe it's someone different every year. But
Yeah.
Loomis has known this and has manipulated Michael because he knows Michael's the one person who could stop him on Halloween night. And so that's why the trap was constructed. It
Oh
wasn't,
wow.
it was constructed to keep the killings going from the only person out there who had the skills to stop it.
Oh wow. That's neat. So I'd watch that now.
That's what I like with a franchise that does something interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I'd like to see something interesting like that for
So,
sure.
so other franchises, Jewel, pick another one that you might like to see more of, even if you don't know what you do with it, or even if you do.
Oh my God. I know, well, they're already remaking that, but I would love to see a different style remake of Psycho. Um, a different kind of. I know that's a different slasher, but and I know we did get a remake of Psycho in the late '90s, but I'd like to see Psycho
Yeah.
done again. Um, but to make it like different, have it be where I would have it set where it's not set in the the 60s or whatever. I would have it even set further back, maybe in like World War II or something. And here's this motel, middle of nowhere. Uh, there's no cell phones. There's no, and here's this brutal killer that nobody knows is a killer. Uh, or you could do a modern day version of that where there's internet, there's cell phones, but in this hotel, uh, those who check in, they don't always check out. That's something you could do. But I don't know, man. I mean, Norman Bates. I thought the first two Psychos were really, really good. Um, I thought Psycho 2 is a great movie. Um, yeah, to me, it's one of the most underrated sequels of all time. Just holy hell. But yeah, great movie. I guess another. I know we lost Pat. Oh, there he is. What's a franchise you'd like to see?
Oh,
Yeah, Patrick.
yeah. What did you say?
I said, what's a franchise you'd like to see?
Oh, more and Liza Minnelli, but I don't think that's going to happen. They only got to one sequel in that. I mean, from Total Cheese Factor, Jaws, of course,
Yeah,
but you see, I would have done the Steve Alton thing. I would have done a Megalodon.
yeah.
Yeah, hang on. Hello, yes. Oh God, I think the order's here. Anyway, well, maybe they just stopped knocking. I can't tell. Oh God, I hate this broken leg. Uh, I don't know if they're there or not. Hang on, Joel. As a man
Take your
suffers, you
time.
were there.
Take your time, man.
God bless
No
America.
worries. Yeah, I think Jaws would be a very interesting
Oh,
idea too to like bring back.
hello.
Hey,
I can take care of it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I wish there was a. Is there a plug anywhere else, or is it just in this incredibly inconvenient spot? That's horrible. Okay. Thank you. And to do a sequel to my suffering on this train. Ugh. You were saying, Jewel.
I would like to see Jaws sort of done in the way of the where like Mattawan Lake in a sense, where it's really a rogue great white going up the East Coast, like Massachusetts and stuff like that, but they don't know what's going on. They're not quite sure. They just instead of people being found eaten, people are going missing and they don't know why.
Oh,
That's something I think they could get into is missing people and a shark eating. Obviously, not like four people within a day, but maybe one person goes missing one day, and then two people go missing a couple days later, and it's like, where are these people going?
yeah. I just want to see Matt Hooper at the helm of an incredibly experimental giant nuclear submarine and setting it on overload to explode, and he escapes in a life pod through the shark's head as it blows up.
I got one for you. I want to see Matt Hooper riding a missile with a cowboy hat.
Well, now
Uh,
you just made a mockery of everything. You might as well find a monolith down there. I was talking about real pulpy goodness,
okay, okay. My apologies, sir.
probably with Blair from the Facts of Life. She's cute, but it'd be Lisa Michelle now. So she'd be in her 50s. It's okay.
Yeah. You were saying, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I who knows. So yeah, so there would be that. Let's see what else there's a franchise. So I do think about these things. Well, finally there needs to be a proper Ghostbusters franchise.
Yeah.
And by that, I don't mean they're kids. I mean, we go back to the 1980s and we Zed and Wong, and Tully and the rest. Uh, and we that's our story. And of course, the bad guy is Dickless, who has become a,
Sorry, I think I lost you a bit there, Patrick.
oh the bad. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, well the bad guy is Dickless
Uh,
because this led to his downfall at the EPA. Yeah, Walter Peck, and so Walter Peck becomes this incompetent black magician who's nonetheless raising all sorts of forces. Yeah.
yeah. See, I would do Ghostbusters in like if you go back like to the 80s, what the Ghostbusters are really trying to do at first from a student standpoint is they're sort of the opposite of Ed and Lorraine Warren. They actually are trying to help people. Um, where and they actually talk about that. I would have them talk about that in the Ghostbusters movie. They even call themselves the Ghostbusters in college. Well, we do we help you, get rid of your ghost, or at least we try to, by exercise. They try exorcism at first, and what causes them to form the echo containment unit is, yeah, the exorcism in a sense works, but it only brings the spirit out. It doesn't trap it. Um,
Oh,
and so they have to make a device to trap the damn thing that they have unleashed by exercising it, doing the exorcism. So that's sort of where they start doing the ghost busting in a sense.
okay. Yeah, I think it sounds like a solid idea.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, any other franchises we'd like to see?
Oh my god. I would like to see the Shadow become a franchise, but I won't hold my breath.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got Shadow, you got Remo Williams, you got, all these franchises just waiting to be treated properly.
Yep, absolutely.
And I don't know why that's my whole life. I've wondered why is it so difficult to trust the source material? I mean, when did the Marvel movies really start taking off? When did superhero movies start taking off? When they started trusting the source material.
Absolutely. Yep. But yeah, this has been a fun discussion, man. This has been
It has.
really cool.
It
Uh,
has. It's been one of our better ones. Yeah.
it has. It has. This was awesome. So Alan won't be. I don't think he'll be available for tomorrow either. Um,
Okay.
so what's something you want to do, man? I mean,
Well, this was something I wanted to do. Now you got to pick something you want to do.
um, well, let's read from the day book tomorrow because I have,
That's great.
that would be something fun to do.
Okay.
Because I'm on chapter 5, so that'll be fun to do, and I'll ask you some questions about it. Uh,
Have you enjoyed the little biography essays at the beginning of the chapters?
yes, yes.
Which one have you liked the most?
Chap chap. First of all, I love because I did read it on my channel before, but I love the Leonard Nimoy one.
Thank you.
Very, very beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't think you get enough credit for it. I think it's awesome, man.
Thank you.
But I love chapter 1 and chapter 2's. Really great. I haven't read chapter 5's yet, uh,
Yeah.
but I'm really excited too because it's a fat. So far, Patrick, just like the previous two, it's fabulous, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
It
Well, I'm
really,
curious to see which one you end up liking the most of the
it
three.
it really is. I mean,
That means a lot. Thank you. The
you always do.
responses. I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
I was gonna say you just always do such a great job, man.
That means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, man. It's awesome.
It's
It's
a,
an
it's
awesome
a,
book.
it is one of the biggest compliments of my life. You have given up many chunks of your life to read this.
Oh, it's fun, man. I love
I mean,
reading.
that's a big deal.
I love reading.
Well,
I
it's a
mean,
big deal.
when
It's
I get done reading your book, I'm gonna read other stuff too. So I got a lot
it's
of,
great.
and then
Oh, and by the way, let me give you a sneak preview of a book you need to look out for, The Sidestar Shadow of Legacy. And it's this.
yeah.
It is the Cy Tomashoff book, which I came up with the title for, that
Ooh,
Patty's done, Dark Shadows by Design. And I got to look through it. It is a treasure trove.
yeah.
Holy
I
cow, it is just a feast.
I got to look through it too. It is. I agree with you.
Oh,
I got to.
great.
Yeah, she sent me some sent me a link, and I was looking through a lot of it. Uh, I
Huh?
can't wait. I'm gonna pick that thing up as soon as it can. So
I can't believe it. It is just a feast. So, it's there to enjoy. All right. Well, tomorrow, let's do some day book.
yep, for sure, man. Uh,
All right.
Speaking of that, link to Patrick McCray's Dark Shadows Daybook Triumph, it's going to be in the description box. Link to Alan Galan's YouTube channel, Colin Sport After Dark, is going to be in the description box. Link to Dark Shadow's Legacy is going to be in the description box. And yes, link to Curious Characters of Collinwood is going to be in the description box. You folks have a great night. Patrick, stay safe, dude.
Well, dude, take care, Joel. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.